She just still didn't get to, you know? Maybe it's you put the wrong email somehow? Wanting to type, make to examine it?
So, yeah, then we're, yeah, that's good.
Hi, Carly. How does it feel to be after? About mitzvah?
Oh.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Is she happy?
Very happy.
I'm glad. It was nice. I enjoyed being there.
The farm tonight, service on the 12th, and then we're. As you for this
What
morning.
do you want to do now?
Bold meal.
I couldn't even remember how to say whether.
Well, now I just have to share it, so in the Zoom, very good. You want to share a screen? Share this one, right? What do you want to do?
So, yeah. I want to say till now.
No, it's this is,
She
yeah,
said
here.
no.
It's okay?
I said,
It's okay.
Go back to
Again, how do I use it? Yeah? Okay, now we have to also,
together.
wait, sometimes we have to let people, as it starts. Yeah, but I won't be sitting here, you'll be sitting. But I'll lean over you like I said, but.
You can have.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
The alphabet.
So get yourself some coffee, get your.
And for me, welcoming the stranger is not just a political thing. It is personal to me, and it's spiritual and also biblical. So I have a question for you before I begin. Have you ever been a stranger in a new place?
Everybody has.
Yes. Okay, good. So you must know how it feels if you go somewhere in a country where you don't speak the language, you don't know the culture. So I'm glad that you guys know a little bit about that. So before I go, I want to tell you about God's heart about the strangers. In the book of Leviticus, the Bible says, love the foreigner as yourself. For us who believe in Jesus Christ, Jesus said, I was a stranger and you invited me in. So I want to tell you that hospitality is equals as making room for God. There is a woman in the Bible who welcomed Elisha in his house. Elisha used to go to the mountain to pray, and this woman observed Elisha kept going to the mountain to pray, and he invited Elisha in. So she told her husband, I know that this man who often comes our way is a holy man of God. Let's make a small room on the roof and put in a bed and table, a chair and lamp for him. Then he came to stay there whenever he comes to us. So let think about bed. Bed is about a place of rest, right? You go there when you are tired and you rest. So this woman was making a room for a stranger. I don't know how they got connected. I don't know how they know each other, but all I know is the story that is there. And he observed Elijah passing by each time, and he wanted to make a bed for him, a place to rest. And also, every stranger longs for a safety. And welcoming them means giving them a place to breathe, rest, and heal from a journey. So table represent a place of fellowship, sharing a meal, building trust and friendship. A table says, you belong here, you are a family. A chair means a place of dignity. A chair is not just a furniture. It is invitation to sit, to be seen, to be honored. Welcoming immigrants means affirming their dignity and giving them a voice. A lamp means a place of light and guidance. Strangers often walk in certain, offering the light of God's word, guiding and encouraging, help them find the direction in a new land. So this woman welcomed the prophet. She didn't know about him. But when we do that, when we welcome strangers, this means that those who welcome and those who are receiving the welcome, they are all blessed. And we will see that later. Let me tell you the global reality about the refugee studies and the immigration, what is happening. In 2024, last year, 123 million people were displaced worldwide. And 73.5 million were internally displaced in their own land. That means they never leave their country, they just in their country, but they are refugees in their own land. And 42.7 million were refugees. This means these people had to leave their country and they crossed the border, went to another country. So that's why they were called refugees. and 7 million, they are seeking a place to be. They are applying, maybe some of them are in Canada, some of them are in America. They don't have a state. They are living among us, but they don't have a place to stay. And I want to tell you, behind every number you see on the screen, there are families, there are children, students, real people who are made in the image of God. Every number that you see. Let me tell you my story a little bit and my opinion about immigration. I grew up in the Congo and I became a refugee in a country called Burundi. I was born and raised in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Because of violence and conflict, I had to leave my homeland and flee to Burundi, where I became a refugee, and in the camp was very hard. There was hunger, fear, and uncertainty, and about tomorrow. So we as refugees and many refugees, the people you see on the screen, I am sure maybe they didn't have faced the same things that I faced, but we have similar stories. So in one night, we were living in the Gatumba, we were in the foreign land, we were under UN protection. We felt like we were safe there. But in that night, the rebels came and stormed the camp and killed a lot of people in one night. I believe like it was like 1 hour and 166 people were gunned down, killed in the camp. With people who don't have a gun, who are not fighting against them, they left their country, they are another country, they end up getting killed there. And I was there, I have ones of that, Sandra was there, and she wrote a book. If you want to read it, talk to Rabbi, we can send the book to you. So I can tell you, me being there, I was terrified. I was very afraid what is going to happen to me, my family, and other people who I know. I know many of my neighbors, my pastors, the people who were like a real marrow to me, who were killed in the refugee camp. My friend were died, or when they died there, even the children. There, I lost my little sister called Deborah. She was like 7 years. She was killed in that camp. I can tell you many innocent people are being killed for no reason. They cannot fight for themselves, but they are being killed. And that memory, I can tell you that it still troubles me up to this day. And this shows me that life is very fragile. And it teaches me how much refugees depends on mercy of other people. They want other people to have compassion on them. In the middle of all those pain and the chaos that was happening, one day the door was open for us to come to America. We were offered resettlement in this country. The opportunity gave me and my family a chance to rebuild in the future. It was not easy. There were new challenges, new culture, and many barriers, but there were also people who welcomed us. Church, neighbors, and strangers opened their hearts. Their kindness showed me, myself, the love of God. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm gonna see God with my own eyes. But me, when I see the kindness the people show to me, I see God through their action. And I can tell you there is a church in the city called New Hope Free Methodist Church. The people at that time in 2007, they really demonstrate what God is to me. The way they walk alongside my family, myself, they made us feel included in their church. We didn't speak the language, but they tried their best to understand what we was going through every day. So to me, that's what it means to show God to people. It's to love them and walk alongside them. Let me tell you my troubled heart now. Because of my journey, my heart is troubled when I see what is happening in America today. Doors are being closed on refugees and immigrants. And think about this. When you close the door, it means death to them. It means that they need to die. Sending them where they come from, running from the war, it means that you want them to go to die. And I can tell you this from my experience. Nobody leave behind what they have built because there is nothing good like your country. Sometimes I always sit here and I will remember the mountains in my village. I remember the hospitality, my childhood. I remember the people who used to milk their cows and give my family milk when we didn't have cow to milk. I remember the time we milked the cows and give other people milk when they didn't have milk. So I didn't want to leave my country to come to America. And I don't think any other refugees also left their country because they want to come to America. They are just terrified. They are running away from something terrible that is going to happen to them. So I want to challenge you today that when you see doors are being closed on immigrants and refugees, it means death to them. Because I know that I experienced that. And I know what it means to see when the door is closed to you. It can mean death, despair, hopelessness. I know that it means when the door is open, I'm living me, myself. I'm a living testimony for what can happen when these doors remain open. When the doors are open, it means that we can do better, we can welcome others, we can walk alongside others. That's what it means to me. And I can tell you, refugees and immigrants, they also always give back what they have received. They don't just come to take your job. They don't come here to take your houses. No, we are people too. We give, we work hard. We do the jobs any other people don't want to do. We clean bathroom, we clean the floors, just because we want to get by. And this I know. Refugees and immigrants, they are very grateful for the people who receive them. I have seen that in my own life when I work in their houses, the way they treat me. They will say, oh, sit down, can you get something to eat? And I say, no, they will just force me, you gotta eat. And I can tell you, if you go to their house, you will experience the same. So now I live my life after those terrible memories that I have and experiences to contribute, to help other people to improve their lives. Let me tell you some of my conviction. Then this is my belief. Anytime I sleep, I think about this. It's up there. My English is not that good, but you can read it. As a people of faith and people of humanity, we have no exit but doing what is right. The Bible says, I was a stranger and you welcomed me in. When we welcome the immigrant, we are welcoming God himself. God from Genesis, you can see that many people were displaced, even Joseph, Jesus, Moses, everyone, their stories, especially the Jews, you know how it feels. They were strange in a foreign land. So this has been happening. So God's heart is that the people will welcome other people. And anytime you see the movement happening in the world, the people are running away from their country, there is something God is doing. We will never understand it, but God is doing something. So when we speak about refugees and immigrants, we are not speaking of people, we are speaking of people created in the image of God. To mistreat them is to dishonor the image. To welcome them is to honor God himself. The Torah is clear. The prophets are clear. God himself is clear. We, the people of faith, we have no exit. We cannot pretend it is someone else's problem. We must welcome the stranger, refugees, and immigrants. If God loves them, we must love them too. If God provides for them, we must provide for them as well. If God protects them, we must protect them as well. This is not an option. You have no way out. Even if you try to sneak, you say, I'm going to look away. I can tell you, there is no way for you to look away. This is something we, the people of faith, we must do. And as you do this, that's your obedience to the Lord. That shows him, you know what, God, I'm following you. There is two things there, and they are very different. Believing, you can believe that God exists. And there is following him. Two totally things. Following means that you want to do everything he says each day, and you cannot look back. You are walking on his shoes. You are trying to make other people's life better. That's what following God means. I would rather be somebody who follows him more than believing that he exists. Let me tell you a practical step that you can take today in your life. Share a meal with them, like what we are going to do. I invite you. Come hear their story. Sit with them. Smile with them. Talk to them. Try to understand why they are here, why they came here. Do that. Even if there is language barrier, try to listen hard and care for them. You will see that you have more than in common than what separates us. And be in the community. Give food to those who need food, clothes, and help with job, teach or guide them, whatever you can. At El Shaddai, we do this every week. We have touring program that helps refugee children. If you want to come and see, you can come, volunteer, give your time. We have so many children who are eagerly and wanting to learn, but their parents don't speak the language. They don't have somebody to help them. So as you give your time and your talent to help these kids, you are walking alongside them and you want them to improve. You want them to go ahead. You know this, in America, education is the key. It's like if you educate the kids, you are giving them the key to succeed in the future. A call to action. So let me ask you, who is the stranger near you? Maybe it's somebody in Temple Sinai. It's not somebody from El Shaddai. Get to know the people who come to this temple often. Get to know their story. If I was at El Shaddai, I was going to say hallelujah. This prophet called Zechariah said, do not oppress the widows or the fatherless, the foreigner or the poor. This is God's command. This is our job. This is your duty. This is something you have to bless with all your heart and your mind. Let me say hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Let us be the people who open our door, our table, our bed, our hearts to the strangers. That's how we can be faithful to God. In the Bible, I know maybe you don't believe this, but let me tell you something. In Matthew 25, we who believe in Jesus Christ, he told the people that when they welcome the strangers, they welcome him. And some of the people will ask, when did we see you, Jesus? Maybe God will ask us. Let's take Jesus out, right? Maybe God will ask us and say, when did we see you and we welcomed you? When did we see you and feed you? But God's gonna say, the day you open your door and you gave somebody something to drink, you did that for me. Bible says in Genesis, every man was created in the image of God. So when you welcome somebody who look like me, who look like you, this means you are welcoming God himself. And so that day, you remember? Yeah, you got it right. Here's my closing thought. Immigration is not about numbers or politics. It is about people. It is about life and death, and hope and despair. My story is a proof that when we keep the door open, everyone is blessed, both those who come in and those who welcome them. Now, I have QR code over there, I'm gonna leave it up there. But I also want to welcome questions. I have my sister here, Sandra, she's gonna help me. She works in the resettlement agency called The World We Live. And she also wrote a book about her experience in refugee camp. It's a really good book. You can, I recommend it to you. So,
He recommends it.
yeah. So if you have a question, please, feel free to ask me any question.
Thank you very much for your talk. I'm wondering what the name of your church means, El Shaddai.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you behind the scene. I know you guys know the meaning of the name El Shaddai more than me, because it's a Hebrew, right? It's a Hebrew name. So in the Bible, it's translated that God is Almighty. And when I wanted to name the church El Shaddai, I knew that I had no power, I had no money, I had no way out to help these people by myself. And I said, I will name this church the name of God, so that anytime I call El Shaddai, I know He's Almighty, He's all powerful, and He can help me with what I need to help the people. And this God Almighty, since I've been praying with Him, He also told me something that I didn't know, and I treasure that in my heart. He told me that God El Shaddai means it's a God in my chest, right? And I said, wow, the Almighty is my chest. Therefore, I am protected. So that's what the name means.
Anyone else? Oh, you can pass it to each other or help each other with the mic.
Thank you. Many of us in this community are very concerned with what's going on in our government and with ICE. How scared are the people that are refugees that you're dealing with? Can I answer that?
You wanna bring a chair also to the front, maybe?
Go ahead.
Yes, over there.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sandra Uwiringiyimana. It's very long, but it means one who believes in God. I work for a resettlement agency. I have been for the last 2.5 years. I'm sorry.
You have to hold it closer to your mouth.
I got it. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, for the last 2.5 years. So I was there before all of this started and after. And I can tell you that they're terrified. Even people who came here in legal pathways are scared about what's gonna happen to them, because many of them don't even know the laws that protect them. So many of them are like, well, are we going to get deported? Do I have to walk around with my social security card everywhere? And it's like, no, you're not gonna get deported. You came here legally, you have your papers and everything, but many don't know that. So a lot of people are just living in a lot of fear. They also have family members who were awaiting resettlement. Many of them who were already vetted, ready to come, and suddenly that door was shut. And it's heartbreaking that you have children separated from families, you have mothers separated from their children. And it's just devastating because America, I think, despite of the political climate, has always done this one thing very well. Welcoming people. That's the one thing America has always been a leader in a good way. So it's really devastating to see us kind of walking away from that, and becoming a nation that instills fear in others. When we came here in 2007, it was under George Bush. June, the one, the one. Okay. And we didn't know anything about Republican, Democrat, anything like that. All we knew were, wow, these people are so welcoming. These people are going out of their way to make sure we get to appointments. I know for sure that I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the people who helped us when we first arrived. Like Heritage said, a lot of parents who come here, especially from camps, have not had the opportunity to be educated. And they come here without knowing English, but also not even being literate in their own language. So they have just hurdles of things that they need to like deal with and get through. And keeping up with the children's schooling is just it's not even on their plate. They have so many other things that they're trying to figure out. And what we do at El Shaddai is try to help these parents and these families navigate through everyday life. Many of them call for simple problems like questions that you and I know, or you can look up, you can Google, but they don't know how to, or they can't for many different reasons. And they just need someone there to help them, guide them, show them. Because we were there, when we arrived, we didn't speak any English. My parents weren't educated. And we relied heavily on the community to walk alongside us. And I can say that New Hope Church definitely did that. I had church members who helped me apply for college, who helped me fill out job applications, who, so many things that my parents would have been helping me with, but because they couldn't, these people stepped up and they were able to do that. So today we're just trying to give that back to our community. Since we arrived, there's been so many other Congolese refugees coming into Rochester, and we want to be those people for them that New Hope Church was for us.
One more thing I can add to that question. Like I said, we have another church in Syracuse. There is these people, they came here as a refugee, and his son didn't apply for the green card because he didn't have money. So I don't know what happened. The ICE round the people up, and he was among those. They asked him, "Do you have your paperwork?" He said, "I came here legally." But they end up taking him because he didn't have green card. They say, "If you have green card, we'll let you go. If you don't, we're gonna take you. That means you are here illegally." And he came here very in a good way, free betted, but because he didn't have money to apply, they took him. I think now he's in somewhere in Louisiana. I don't know why they're taking them down here. So it's terrifying. And now I can show you, I can't go anywhere without my passport. Because I know if somebody stopped me and I'm speaking with accent, they're gonna just want to know who I am, and if I don't, they're gonna take me. There is so many other people whom they talk, they were citizens. Some of them, they end up go back home because their parents brought, or their mother or somebody brought their document to them, they release them. But it's terrifying that you have to work to go anywhere with a passport in the country, and you are a citizen of that country.
Over there, get my steps today.
Could you tell us a little bit about your church? You said you had 3 locations. Can you tell us about them and where are they? How big is your congregation, your leaders? A little bit about the church itself.
Okay, so in Rochester here, we have a church of refugee, about 100, and including the children, 150. We are located in the gates. That's where we are. We have 3 pastors and we have a board of directors. And also, we're not just, we are a church like, but also we are like a resettlement agency. In that, in the case of, because we are helping people who need the green card to apply. We are filling those applications for them up. If you need to become citizen, we are helping you with citizenship. If you need a job, you can come to our church and we will help you with resume and we'll coach you about the interviews and things like that. So we are doing too many things at once. And because now the agencies that used to have these refugees, some of them lay the people off because they have no money. Now people just run to church because they know we can go to church and we can be supported there, even if we don't have the funds. Even now, like maybe by the end of this month, most of the refugees in Rochester, they're not gonna get their SNAP benefits. If you know what is SNAP benefit, is a food stamp. So they are terrified. They are calling me, my phone is ringing like everywhere. So they're asking me, we're not gonna be able to feed our children this next month? And I'm saying, let's wait and see. I don't know. But he already said he's not gonna release it. So it's hard.
Oh, to you. And besides our giving, how else can we help you practically or your flock? Maybe we can all bring food next week when you offer food to us. Maybe there are other things. Bedding, you know, can you tell us how else we could practically help? We are a brain trust over here. I know our social action group has been helping with refugees and in the ways that you just described. Is there a way that we can help in a practical way besides financially?
Absolutely, you can volunteer with us at the after-school program. You can volunteer your time if you have a specific skill that you think could be useful for refugees. We would connect you with somebody who needs that very specific thing. There are so many needs in our community. One that I can think about is like job applications, job training, workforce development. We need people who have different experiences to be able to build up our community, especially as they're cutting the funding for SNAP benefits and other public assistance. People need to be self-reliant. And unfortunately, when you come here and you're not literate and you don't have the opportunity to learn English because maybe you have young children at home, you're kind of stuck. So we need people who are flexible, who are able to do maybe like one-on-one, like tutoring with moms who are pre-literate. Things like that. I mean, the list is probably endless and I just named a few things because I wasn't thinking about it, but there are so many ways you can volunteer and I'm sure I'll think of more after we leave this event and I'll be like, oh my gosh, you'll share this.
Yeah, perhaps you can bring those things
Yeah.
next week.
Absolutely.
We can
Back
put it
to
on
your
the
question,
table.
I also think right now more people, they want to apply for those, like, those documents, and we don't have enough people to help with that. So if there is people who knows how to fill out like, application for green card or citizenship, you can come, we can make an appointment and people can come and you can just have them fill it out and we can send those in. So we want to help as many people as we can so that they, at least they have their paperwork. They don't need to be deported, so, yeah. I think that's more, we need the people of that area most, and also like helping with employment services.
All right, thank you for sharing your stories today. I'm originally from Florida, and we have a huge immigrant, refugee, a lot of Cubans, Mexicans, Dominicans. And one common talking point in the media, people who are against immigration, they say, oh, they come here, but they don't want to assimilate. They don't want to become American, these type of rhetoric. And as I said, I grew up among a bunch of diversity and I had friends who spoke all different languages and went to school together. But you might have someone from a very less diverse place, you know, like maybe Iowa, Nebraska, and they see these things in the news, what would you say to them about how much, you know, people come here and do want to be American and do want to, you know, become part of their communities?
Yeah.
People do want to be a part of the community, but I think I would ask that person, why is it that in order to accept someone, you must strip them of their identity?
Yeah, they're very good.
Why? That to me is very bizarre. Like, imagine moving to a new country and somebody's telling you, you must forget your English or whatever you speak, and look like us, dress like us, eat like us. Basically strip you from your entire identity. That's crazy to me. So you can be American and be someone else too and have a different identity. We all come from somewhere else, especially here in America. Unless you're Native American, you come from somewhere else. Your ancestors come from somewhere else. Nobody's asking you to assimilate or to when you say my family is Irish or Jewish, or nobody's like, oh well, how come you're saying that? Just say you're American. You're only American. Like that, it makes no sense. It's offensive. It's degrading, honestly. It's very degrading, and yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
All right, anyone else would like to ask a question or comment? Questions actually are better, but comments will fit as well. Where? Oh, okay, front, yeah, sure.
How was your experience in Rochester been?
Our experience, I think, has been very positive. Like I said, we had so many people that helped us. Of course, there are some things, like I came here as a teenager, so I went to high school here in Rochester, and that experience is a story for another time. You can read my book if you want to.
What's the name of the book?
It's called How Dare the Sunrise.
Perhaps you can bring copies.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We'll set
Yeah.
up a table.
Absolutely,
Yes.
I'll bring copies.
And sign this.
Yeah, I will. I will. And yeah, so that experience was re-traumatizing. Because I can't talk about it because I'll go on forever. But there were a lot of challenges. However, I do think Rochesterians are very special people. I think we show up for our community in ways that I don't see in other places. Yeah, so
How did you end up in Rochester?
we had no choice. It was they just assigned a city to you and they send you there. And you find that out like a week or two before you leave.
Well, we're very lucky to have you.
We're lucky to be here, too. Thank you.
So the other thing, going back to your question, I can tell you now, we are in different times, right?
Yes.
It's like people believe what they hear. So yes, people here are good, but there is good apples and bad apples.
Yeah.
So there is these people who are following what they hear from the social media, that refugees and immigrants are rapists, whatever he names them. So some of the people are not receiving others, but I know that mostly I think it's because we're in New York State. New York State is better than any other states.
Yeah.
Right. Leslie.
Is your congregation mostly people from Congo or from other countries in Africa as well?
We have people from Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, they're all there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we speak different languages, all of us. In the Congo, they have how many languages? Like
Over 200.
over 200 languages. So they have their own culture, we have our own culture, but we just come together and love one another.
But East African cultures are very similar. So They're very similar. If you didn't know, you wouldn't know that we were from the same country. And even Rwanda and Burundi, we speak very similar languages, which is how we're able to worship together. We can understand each other.
Thank you.
Leslie over there.
Can you tell us a little more about how your church came to be?
Good question.
So when we arrive here, the many refugees start arriving, and I'll take them to the church that received us. And I'll tell them, you know what, that church is so good, we need to go there. And they'll come, they'll stay. But we come to realize that they don't understand the language, even if they're preachers speaking the word of God, they're not taking anything away from the church. So the leadership of that church at the time said, we think Heritage, you need to be a pastor. So they took me. I said, I don't want to be a pastor. They said, no, you need to. And I said, no, but I came to say, okay, I accept the challenge, and I can tell you, this ride is very hard ride to ride. But we formed the church because the people needed the church.
When did it start?
It started in 2017.
No, not very exclusive.
Yeah.
So, thanks for all the inspiring words today. This congregation has, quite a few educators, former educators. It's something that Temple Sinai is known for. I was wondering if you could tell us more about the after-school programs and the tutoring programs that El Shaddai offers?
Yeah, so the after school program is every Wednesday, and the students from the 3rd to 8th grade. And they bring homework or anything they need assistance with. Some bring like paperwork from school that they didn't know, but the parents didn't know how to fill out, and you assist them with that. There are, like teens who are just beginning high school who need some guidance, who need some tutoring. Some of them, so it's challenging because some of them have been here for longer than others. And we have some newcomers that came last year who are still learning English. But then we have some other kids who know English but just need a little guidance and a little help. But we also do wanna start a program eventually for the pre-literate parents in the church. I really feel strongly about that, I think. Cause we can't do that forever, right? We need to equip people with tools to be able to guide their children, even after. But Heritage is not able to go to every house, and we're not able to go to every house every day. And these parents really need this assistance. So if anybody wants to help us develop that program, we don't know how to work with pre-literate folks, but if anybody feels called to do that, I would love to speak to them.
So there's a person at the congregation, she's a member and she also teaches in the Sunday school. And she started a program called LACE. I don't know if you've heard of it, but Language Acquisition and Culture Exchange. And it focuses on teaching English. And she has a program, because you mentioned the mothers who are home with their little ones. She has a program called Moms with Tots.
I know Moms with Tots.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think, and there are people through the congregation that are wanting to volunteer, have some free time. So I think if we can really coordinate efforts, she's teaching, they're partnering with other entities in the city to teach the classes, but I think, developing this partnership with you all, it's not just, oh, you're here today, or you'll come next week and we'll have dinner together. We're talking a long-term, real partnership. So I think either today, and the idea that you've heard of the Moms with Tots, and it's not like, oh, they do it on Tuesdays at this place. I think there's flexibility to do it where it's needed and when it's needed. And so I think it's a huge need. So the idea is the moms come and they bring their little ones, and there's someone playing and watching the little ones. So that, because again, you're talking about the parents learning English and being more comfortable here. So I just wanted to share that, and we can definitely follow up on that.
Oh, that's awesome. Moms Who Talks used to partner with World Relief last
Yes.
year.
Yes.
So they used to have the program there, but it, because of the time of day and it was just challenging for a lot of the clients to show up. But they're a great organization and great initiative. I would love to talk to her about partnering with El Shaddai.
Okay,
Yeah.
terrific.
One question.
Great.
Rabbi.
I think they can hear. Yeah, you have a loud voice, it's true, but we have our bishop.
How did you hook up with Rabbi Zohar? You can answer that question. How do we do that?
Well, I think every morning, we wake up in the morning as we pray for God to show us, potential partners, and then we walk in the world and we say, oh, maybe this person can be a potential partner. I think I met you first at the church when there was
At the Greater Harvest Church?
yes.
Yeah.
There was a church when we were both invited to share a prayer. And I think it was one of you who invited me there, perhaps Joyce Herman or Leslie New, I don't remember, one of you good people.
Church on Lake Ave?
Possibly. So, the Lord works in a mysterious way. We wander the earth and we are looking for friends, And it so happened that I invited Reverend to meet me and he agreed, and that's how you develop a friendship. You go one step at a time, right? So let's see what the next steps would be, with God's help, like we say. Did I answer it correctly? Because I can hardly remember. But I think so.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think you did good, and you guys have a good rabbi. I can tell that.
All right, any more, anybody?
What's the best way to volunteer? Are you going to take names today?
So, yeah, we can take names today, or if you want, on our website, which is www.elshaddaichurch.net. You can go there and fill out the form, and we'll reach out back to you.
Yeah, there's a volunteer form.
And again, perhaps, where is? Oh,
Come to you.
sorry.
How are you?
Next week, our wonderful. There you go, Paul.
Oh.
It's all yours.
Hi, if I don't know you, I'm Pauline Rosenberg. I've been on the hall teaching seventh grade.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
Nessie's
Hebrew 101.
And I do Monday nights, I'm here for Hebrew, for beginning Hebrew, Judaism 101, and Wednesday nights intermediate Hebrew.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
But in the rest of my life, as many of you know, but not everyone knows, I have a nonprofit organization that I helped co-found and now I run called Rochester LACE, Language Acquisition and Cultural Exchange. And we do English language programs for immigrants and refugees. We were at full really every week. So we do a bunch of different programs. Right now we have between 4 and 6 programs a week. We do a moms and tots program because there are a lot of moms who don't learn English and they're home with kids. They're home with their kids. So actually we do a moms and tots program on Thursdays at Catholic Charities. We're at Catholic Charities on Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock. And our classes vary in size. Sometimes we only have a couple people, sometimes we have 12 or more people. Last week we only had adults, they didn't bring their kids. Some weeks we have equal number of adults and kids. And there's always at least 2 teachers, if not some volunteers. We're always looking for more volunteers. We've had many Temple people come. If you know Sarah Sandler, she comes every Thursday for our Moms and Tots class. We're also at Catholic Charities on Monday mornings, and we do a job readiness English, where they can also bring kids, but we don't always involve the kids in the class for job readiness like we do with moms and tots. Moms and tots is really, everybody's learning together. And that class also varies in size. We do an English class for older refugees, another overlooked population that are not always getting services. We are at the Henrietta Senior Center on Friday afternoons at 1 p.m. And we get we have a really good, we've been there over a year and we have almost the same people every week. They're really cute. We do, once a month, we are at the North Clinton Food Pantry, another overlooked group. So while people are waiting for their number to be called at the food pantry, we do some short English classes. It's all on our website, all the dates, all the information is up on our website, because I really have to go back to class. rochesterlace.org, if you go to the events page, it lists all of our classes that we're doing. And we're very proud of what we do. We're always looking to reach out more into the community, and we're always looking for if you're interested, some of our volunteers come once, some come every week. We're always looking for people to see what we're doing, because we're very, very proud of it. I could talk for.
Remind me to invite you to Hole of the Bagel next year.
If I, right now I have to go back because
I'll take your place if it's with this kids.
I could do that anytime. If you teach seventh grade, it'll be great anytime. I love the seventh grading. I've got a great class this year, every year. Yeah, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've taught many of your kids. Great. Anyway, beautiful to see you. You're okay.
Yeah, it was so good to see you.
Well, thank you.
This is my other world. Yeah, but Sandra saw our class, and when we were at World Relief, she would come and see our kids and our moms playing. And, yeah, and.
Yeah, we want to partner with you
Well,
at our church.
well,
We would love to.
you know, I'm gonna run back and get you a card.
And Pauline,
You do, but-
maybe for next Friday night, if it's okay with Ellen over here who's helping, we can coordinate and have a table with all of this information
Anytime, you
And-
tell me,
and ways that we can.
Fridays are sometimes harder for me. I do, cause my other hat, I do Shabbat at Wolk Manor. I do a Shabbat program every week at Wolk Manor. I'm there till about 6. So if I ever come here on a Friday, I'm always late because I'm at Wolk Manor till 6, but I can come and be here after service and have just tell me when, cause I don't always know. November 7th, I'll grab that, and I'm gonna either come back or send one of my students with my card just in case.
Well, or I'll meet with you during the week when you.
Yeah, but no, to give Sandra my card. So that, because yes, we would like to talk to you. One of our other teachers was talking to Ken, not that long ago, but yeah. Well, I don't know, we have to, cause my schedule is.
As you can see.
Right now, I still teach almost all of our classes. One of our teachers is starting another class without me, which is good. But except for that one class that she does, I still teach every class that we do, so.
We need a few of you coming.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so this is what a wonderful example of how,
Put your first sign.
What?
Put whatever sign was back on. Put it back on.
What sign?
The first slide
The first slide.
Oh.
with your name.
so, yeah, a couple of things,
Here we go.
a couple of things I want to add. I want to say, first of all, I want to say that, I'm really happy that 2 of you came to be with us. And hopefully this is not the beginning, but another step in our evolving friendship. And I'm grateful for my friends and partners at the Social Action Committee who are working very hard to put some substance into this collaboration. You asked how Jim asked and left, but he asked how we got to know each other. It's never about one person, it's about all of us together doing their part. And I think one way, as we think of moving forward, a couple of things. One is that, you have the barcode and you can help. You can also register directly through the website or, through Pauline's organization, Lace. I'm kind of hoping that we will be able to establish something that as a group, as a Temple Sinai social action group will be able to organize the kind of help and support and collaboration and partnership. And I really like to think about it as partnership and collaboration rather than a one-side thing, because I think we're all gaining from this equally. So I think we can, as we figure it out, and I can think of other things, I can think of our Madrid team maybe spending some time there. You know, I can think about maybe joint educational programs. We're also thinking about our school and what activities our kids could have. You know, there's more than one way to go about this, and I don't know the answer. I just know that thank you so much. I know that if we ask the right questions and start just seeing what works, we'll figure out more things that can happen. I just want to share with you one more detail that Reverend Munyakuri shared with me when we met privately. He said that they don't have their own building as of now. They meeting, I think you're renting engaged or something, right? And that they're looking into a church in Irondequoit that somebody owns and willing to maybe give it to them. It's a building, it's worth a lot of money, might be donated to them, but they have to prove that they have enough funds to run it. And right now, their budget doesn't meet the requirement. I'm not gonna get into numbers, I'm just gonna say that there's their next step that their leadership is sitting here. And with us, that they think that they wanna get to, that's will be their next step. And I don't know that we have that money to give, it's not a small amount, but maybe sometimes there's a ball figure and we know what they need, maybe we can use some other partners or think of a way to maybe help towards that as well, so. So I'm just putting this here in the air to say that this could be, and we both are, what's that?
Many of us know and have worked with granting agents.
Yeah, so I'm saying there's more than one way to go about it, and sometimes when there's the right idea and the right amount, it can come together. So I don't know how to go about it precisely, but I'm just putting it here in the air. That maybe that is something that we can together think of, if we can help them to have their own building. Obviously, they'll be able to help their people more. Yes, David?
Maybe we could, I don't know the amount at all, right? And I'm assuming it's not small, but which would be hard for maybe one entity to pledge, but if we saw it as an interfaith effort to support your congregation, if all congregations in Rochester or many came together and each pledged an amount that was, doable, then we could all come together to support, because people say, oh, we want to help, we want to this, this is something very, very concrete to give you the space to do the work. And the prayer. So I think, and if we could, Sinai is pledging this, can you match us? To all sorts of interfaith partners. That would be a way that we could help, just an idea. And again, I think it's further conversation.
I'm just putting it out there, so as anyone who has either the ability or a connection or whatever, we can think about that too. Yeah. Okay, I think we have just a few more minutes. Is there any concluding remarks that two of you would like to say? Any or one of you?
I'll say two things, then she's gonna conclude. First of all, I'll send you the proposal they sent to us for the building. If anybody want to see it, I think Rabbi can send it to you. I don't want just to be words. I want you to see the way they're proposing, how much they're requiring for us to raise. If anybody wants to donate, that would be good. If not, that's okay too. But I just want to say thank you so much to Rabbi Zohar and Temple Sinai for welcoming us. Even just you guys sitting here and listening to our story, it means a lot. I'm very thankful. Thank you.
I don't have much to add. Thank you so much for having us here and for caring about the refugee community in Rochester. We are very, very grateful to have neighbors and friends like you.
So surely, hopefully you will come back here. And we'd like to visit you also at your church someday. And another way that you can help and enjoy good African food and good company and show up at services. Flying guy cloud.
What? We have to do
Yeah,
that
so we
too?
can sing hallelujah together.
Yeah.
It's not only to make sure that you're coming on November 7th, but to bring a friend with you. Yes, we'll have a full house, which I know that we will anyways, but just make a conscious effort. And I just want to say, is that you in the next hour is you? So we're gonna have something incredibly interesting here at 11 a.m. after we take our 15-minute break. As you know, the après la bagel, yeah, after the bagel hour at 11, every week is something else. So it's not Ask the Rabbi this time, it's not social action, it's not adult education. Today it's Meet the Board, right? So Josh Faber is our board member who is going to be, is this topic or just anything open?
Happy to talk about youth, the school, anything else that is on people's mind.
So Josh is a VP of School of Youth and youth is, by the way, is until age 39 apparently, not contribution. So anyone who wants to be in that discussion, please meet Josh after the break at 11 a.m. in this room. Otherwise, thank you once again for coming.
Yes.
And you all have a wonderful remainder of the week. Thank you so much. This was great. I think it was very informative, inspirational. You got to vibe our people very well. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before you leave, let's take us, maybe with your sisters, brother. And then we'll make advertising.
Yes.
My thoughts, our thoughts.
This money has to go for, I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, I'll also. Yeah, this is great. Thank you.
This is.
So it is.
They're really minded.
I think he can help.
Hi, Frank. Oh, he's my.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Here, let me take your place. So you can.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It was a wonderful opening. I was saying, New York State just sent out checks to everybody in the state. I don't know why they sent them out. But it's
All of us?
Mine was Friday. They come at different times.
Yeah.
It was something about, I don't know, hunger, poverty. Anyway, I didn't need the check. I wasn't expecting the check. And when it came, I said to my husband, all right, positive, but we're gonna do something good with this check. Well, I think God opened it. So.
I'm glad to hear that. Crazy.
I haven't got that. I hope I did.
How old are you? Never a dumb move. I told you, I have 4. You have 3 now, 21, 19, 17, when they were young. I remember.
It's right there. Yes, I just one the next time.
Are you like that?
Yeah. Very happy.
That's how it is.
Thank you so much.
So glad.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Young man was out there.
Like, it's nice to have.
My sister, you know, my sister is. Yeah. Sorry, so sister visits. And I say, I can you arrange that? So last. I was surprised. Wasn't resting on us, got Robin Lyman, he had the rest of San up there in the leadership and very united the first Botswana I had a chance to speak to you for 2 hours. And he was no hostility, no hatred, and rather finding doing this. That's why I thought it's in the sense that I was yeah. And he speaks about how he was honored to meet us. And we thought, you're honored to meet us. Blessed you are to us. And then for our older grandson, this one, education like that. I can tell you. Sit next to him. There are children that need all because one of the grandsons had that. Right?
Yes.
It don't matter. Someone else. And that Russian immigrants, so yeah, they're just from Russia. I was I said to my husband. Come on.
Right now, and I think he's with any church or he he might be. Many years. Nice to meet you. You know, one of my best friends is. Many years ago, he came here and I helped him get started. Now he's very rich. Yeah, they're wonderful people. He had the right idea. Yes, he did.
Yeah, right.
Very nice.
Except for the other day, he believes in Jesus. She hates refugees and that. Incompatible. It doesn't, you know, you can't, you're desecrating your church going there. If you think like that, you say you follow what he said, do it. And Jesus had things to say, so we could accept that part. Yeah. That's why I think this interface is really good. It's actually many things against us all these years. Like, is it cute? Isn't it so?
It helps to remind us that we're never in those situations. Thousands of years.
Over 2,000. It may not even be that, but. You know, and it's good that we get to know these people and they know that we are not monsters.
Because this was totally today.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, I gave him the name because Max, I would say he's a millionaire. He's done better than I ever would do. I helped him get started.
Look at what he did.
Yeah, yeah. Klaus is an amazing person. I pray for him every day. Though. It's been so slow.
Oh, how so?
Terrible. Oh my God. He's had heart condition. He's had stents. He almost died a couple times.
No kidding.
Yeah. But last time I saw him, he had an infection going. And I go, oh my God.
Oh.
The poor guy.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think he's doing okay now.
Okay.
I have to go visit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's,
Give him my good wishes.
yeah, I will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only have
Yeah,
one
he did
stent.
say he had a crush on you.
You know, that actually surprises me.
You're still cute.
I did. I haven't heard that. I don't know. My grandchildren think I had.
I do too. Less than a very lucky man. Yeah,
No. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe
yeah,
too much work stress, maybe. I don't know. It could also be family history.
yeah.
Right?
They got a wonderful family though.
Yeah.
He has been, you can't imagine what a good father he's been.
Oh.
His kids are all well educated and his one son graduated MIT with
No
a
kidding.
master's in engineering and.
That's a tough
And he
school.
never even worked for anyone else, but he sold a patent to the Gleason Works and retired around.
Serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
His kids are brilliant. Yeah.
Wow.
But Klaus was the kind of guy that sat down every night, you study, you do your work.
Yeah. Well, that was our mantra.
Yeah,
During the week, that's your job as a student.
Yeah.
There's no going out there. I mean, I had friends whose kids went out.
yeah, or the parents are going out. Yeah.
The older son was the biggest student. He was the serious,
Yeah.
nerdy, whatever, didn't date much. And then suddenly he had this group of friends and he wanted to be popular. I remember once he said to me, why aren't I popular, right?
Yeah,
And that's hard for teenagers, right?
yeah,
We started
yeah.
to hang out with this group. And one night at 11 o'clock,
o'clock, the doorbell rings, Aaron home? That was it. I said, excuse me, you come to my door at 11 o'clock and you say, is Aaron home? Who are you and what are you doing here at 11 o'clock? This is a school night. Well, going out. I said, no, you're not. You might be
Yeah.
going out. He's not.
Yeah, I
In
came,
this family, you study during the week. Weekends, yes, and there's a curfew. And the older one is at the top of the stairs. And the
Yeah.
younger son, and then later
That's
on,
fine.
and
Make a
now
coffee.
he's a father.
That's all I ask.
He appreciates.
Just give me coffee, I'm
mom
pretty much good to go for now.
yeah.
I can't wait till you're.
And
That's
the group
why
that-
I was so attracted to Judaism when I was younger, too, because the Jewish families, they were so like families, you know, and I go.
Well, and many are, but it's like, just because of thousands of years of uncertainty, they had to, it was the brain of God that places, because it's.
Oh, absolutely.
Businesses they couldn't run.
Yeah. I have a thing on Jewish history that I got from RIP, and they talk about, a lot of people are very negative about Zionism. But Zionism was a necessity. The Jewish people was longest from everything. There's only one way they could get ahead.
Exactly.
That was it. But people don't understand that.
It's not taught, it's.
Yeah,
Right. We have to.
you gotta get out there more. Yeah.
I'm gonna check the kitchen and make sure we have enough goodies for tonight's program.
That's always good.
Is this in here?
This isn't here.
Oh, good. Well, I'm in the right place.
Yeah,
I'll be right back, Josh.
I'll be here.
I'll trust you with my purse.
We gotta weigh the options, but there's people watching me, so I think.
I was gonna say, if we can't trust you, Josh, right?
I'm curious.
Wait, what's going on today or what's going?
No, I mean. I am so out, I probably, yeah, because there was. I don't know what's happening, I know that the youth program is so different from when our kids were in school.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm.
It's a different world and I really want to hear what the issues are.
And of course, we had so many kids.
Right.
In a heyday, we had 550 kids. Remember how we were talking about
Yes.
having a third session on Sunday?
Yeah,
And the classes were 20, 25. right?
yeah, there wasn't a place to sit.
It's definitely changed, so with the classes, there's been a huge drop off for the younger grades especially.
Oh, really?
K through about 2. It's not that there are families with kids that age around Sinai. A lot don't start their kids at Hebrew school,
Yeah.
at, Sprouts or kindergarten.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't entirely know why. I mean, I can guess why. Some families, you pretty much assume you join, you send your kids to
Oh, absolutely.
whatever grade, but it's not just other activities. I think it has to do with what people think the Hebrew school is probably for,
Yeah.
in a sense, and not necessarily what, Hebrew school is actually about, but just how they perceive the,
Yeah.
the value of it. Starting around 4th grade, the numbers start to pick up pretty dramatically as you go towards B'nai Mitzvah, and those kids their parents have been here for
Yeah.
a while, so it's just a matter of kind of
Yeah.
getting them to take part.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I think you're, how many families do we have as members now?
I think we're about 500.
Oh, why are we
The-
that high?
it's been-
Okay.
It was declining for a while, and I think
Yes.
it's largely flattened out for the past couple of
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Where,
There was a bump last year.
yeah, so last year I think it went up for the first time
That's a new
in a
number.
while.
Yeah.
I think, if I remember right, don't quote me on the numbers, I think they said last year it was more like 50 joined and 25.
Yeah.
So the numbers have actually kind of, at least steady, if not trickling back
Thank
up.
you, Leslie.
Yeah.
And I am remiss all week long.
Kids are in the school, I have no idea.
So the upper grades probably run, there's probably a good like 12 to 15 for 7th. At least 7th through 5th, if not 7th. through
12 to 15 kids?
It's per grade, yeah.
Oh, per grade.
Per grade.
Oh,
Oh, no, so that, call it probably 15 to 16 from 4th grade up to 7th.
yeah.
For the younger grades, it's probably talking more like
Well, no, it was great, I was very proud of them.
20 kids scattered across the younger grades. Yeah, it might actually be overestimated.
Yes.
So it's definitely fallen off at the younger
Oh,
grades,
okay.
but about 12 to 15 per class for the upper grades. I think pretty much.
Okay.
It's still the way it's going. There's definitely untapped demand. The other tricky pipeline, so after, you know, B'nai Mitzvah age. Hello,
Town hall?
yes,
Alright.
it's a small town for today.
Yeah, a lot of hall, a lot of town.
Yeah, so, after B'nai Mitzvah age, a lot of whether kids stay or go seems to be like, if they've developed close friends while they were here, those groups will stay.
Mhm.
So there's classes where like you'll see kind of a tight group of friends who stay from 8th grade through 12th just because, you know,
Yeah.
they're all close. There are some grades where apparently like every single student from that grade, you know, finishes their B'nai Mitzvah and never shows up again. So that there's something about kind of the
The critical mass.
it definitely comes down to like the social, both the parents' social group and the kids one. Charlie is close with like a few of his classmates,
Mhm.
and they're pretty much gonna be, you know, lifers throughout high school.
How old is Charlie?
He's in 9th grade this year,
Oh, okay.
but like, you know, he's got a few friends here. You don't have to push him to like.
Yeah.
He
No,
sees them
wants to
and stuff,
come.
like, these are his buddies, like,
Right,
it's a nice, easy sell to get him to come to stuff.
right.
The grade, I won't say the grade above him, like, kind of evaporated for whatever reason, so
COVID was a huge,
COVID was bad.
oh, God,
Um,
horrible.
one of the things that I think is probably out there, so this is probably like, you know, I'm sure that Susan will talk about this, Zipporah Rosenberg's VP of Education too. Part of the thing I think we need to do is more activities for parents, probably during. I know for parents, coming on Sunday mornings isn't always what they wanna do, because Sunday mornings are busy, and that's when people go grocery
Right.
shopping, but, a little bit more, even lightly coercive activities to get people here on Sunday mornings. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for kind of. If you get people to.
Zeroing in on parenting Jewish children.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
what are the issues?
yeah, and it basically, it's not. I've always gotten the sense you don't have to necessarily, it almost doesn't matter what the topic is, if you're here, regardless of if it's a workshop about Noah's Ark or something else, as long as the parents start talking with each other, there's a pretty good chance that, you know, you'll build some community
Yeah.
just by putting people in the room,
Right,
regardless of what the
Right.
actual like
right.
theme is.
That's how psychology works.
You know, like, so we could probably do more of that. Whole of the bagel is good, but
Well,
I've been
there's
keeping
a
an eye on
lot
the
of
parent-
great cats here.
the parents are still somewhat not avoiding it, but it doesn't have a huge draw from the parents. We could probably get a little more, but it would probably take something else to kind of get the parents to commit to, you know, spend an hour here doing something.
Right,
Either with the kids or, I mean, I think as long as we probably just need to do
you
more.
know. I look, go ahead.
I was just saying, well, why not, something during the week and have a men's group and a women's group so that someone could watch the kids while they're here?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, something, so there is the Wednesdays. Is there, where they do Wednesday school? There was Wednesday school,
Oh.
but that was 4:30 to 6, so that was always kind of an awkward time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the kids,
I heard that there were a couple resignations because TBK dropped the middle,
TBK did make their school free this year.
oh, free?
Yeah.
And did they make it just one day?
Forget the details. Is that a-
I believe I did hear that. I mean, don't quote me, but I think that was one attraction that one family with young kids said attracted them because they do sports during the week but more importantly, it's hard if both parents are working.
Yeah, to get your kids there.
Yeah.
I mean, when our kids were little, there was a bus that went from the middle school went from Brighton schools to TPK.
Mhm.
But because we're in the Penfield School
Yeah,
District, it
yeah.
wasn't available and it made it harder.
Right.
But, you know, I wanna say this to I don't know, you know, when there's been a drift in recent year, I don't know, the last 10, 15 years towards. Making the experience fun, out of the camp model.
Right.
The camp has been recognized, Camp Seneca Lake is recognized as an imprinting experience for building Jews.
Mhm.
So. I think, I don't know if anybody, I actually don't know what they teach here anymore.
Right.
I'm thinking that with older kids, if you offered something valuable, that it wouldn't be such a hard sell.
I think I pretty much largely agree with that. The curriculum's pretty, I think the curriculum is still largely recognizable here. One thing, based on a sample size of one daughter that I have, a lot of the social action stuff, it's not that it wasn't part of it's definitely part of the curriculum, but she found that to be kind of decidedly motivating
Oh,
in a way that perhaps the traditional religious aspects may not have always been her main motivation, but the things related to social action like always moved her and several of her friends,
Mhm.
like, and it didn't take much to kind of get them rolling. They had youth and energy,
right.
but I think she found that kind of like the modern day expression of Judaism, was kind of the part that she found was compelling. I think she still finds the most compelling in a lot of ways. So I think there's probably room to tie in both the school, but also like the youth groups and things like that. But
Right.
I don't want to say that there's no, you don't want to remove it from religion.
No.
But definitely religion in the broad sense, I think has a lot to offer compared to religion in a more narrow.
Well, action,
Yeah.
at the action and
Uh-huh.
living it.
Right.
Yeah, living the. Do we still have a youth group?
Yeah, so we do have the youth groups. So they're kind of getting, we're breathing new life into them, hopefully. So there's a new youth group coordinator. If people know, so Grace Ebner is the new youth group coordinator. People know Jackie Ebner. Her mom has been a member here for a while.
Right.
The three of them, Grace and her two siblings kind of came up through the school. So she's back from college and now she's the new youth group coordinator. So they do a lot of activities, largely just social activities, but there's probably room to expand that without too much problem too.
It's just her first year.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting her feet wet. She's doing a great job so far, but basically they're just trying to kind of get that restarted.
How many kids participate?
So to give an example, there was a day out at Wickham Farms, apple picking and the standard fall type Wickham Farms type stuff. They turned out somewhere between 12 and 15 kids.
Oh.
Which is a pretty good group, like.
No, that is, that most definitely. I mean, it's a critical mass. Well.
I like that.
And it's definitely something to grow on. I think, if we could kind of, the secret is once, at least for the moment, once this class sizes start to pick up in 4th and 5th grade, if you can hook them then that this is something that like ties in with their interests,
Yes.
there's definitely room for, for growth there.
And did Nelty disappear?
I don't know about Nelton. So basically there's Saucy and Ratsy. Don't ask me which is which. I was, my own son, Charlie's in one of them. But
Saucy's the younger one.
Older one.
Saucy's the
No,
Ratsy's
Ratsy's
the
the
Oh, yeah,
younger
so
one. Yeah.
Charlie's in the younger one.
Okay.
And that seems to be, those are both kind of going along. The one they do activities with some of the other like youth groups around town.
Yes.
We have some pretty good time. If people know Mandy Warner, she's currently something like the education director at Bethel, but she's a member here.
Oh.
And her son knows my son, so like
How interesting, yeah.
we definitely have like these tie-ins where there's so much cross-pollination
Yeah.
that they do activities. There was the Sukkah Hop a couple
Yes.
weeks ago where they
Yes.
they all trooped across town to different places in a limo and
They've done that for several years.
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. So so there's definitely tie-ins between the different youth groups. I don't know about kind of the more active. Like, so Nelty or those things seem to
That was the
faded
thing,
in the
you
sense,
know, my kids were in their forties.
Mhm.
Like, you know, they used to be regional conferences,
Yeah,
and they would go to, for 2 days to Toronto, and it would be a big, you know,
Mhm.
big.
Right, some of that's fallen off the right. I think it could definitely be brought back. Those organizations are still out there. I think that's gonna, I think we need to kind of build up the local leadership and then kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
reach out for
But
that.
the change is in our demographics, right?
I
I mean,
know.
when we
Mhm.
were active, we were largely a younger.
Yeah, it's the
Mhm.
boomer, you know, boomers are all the
And,
grandparents now.
you know,
Mhm.
what drew people to Rochester? That's not here, the large corporations anymore, right? So
Right.
now the brain trusts are attracting
Mhm.
people.
Right.
But, so I understand why there's a smaller, younger population, right? Yeah.
Mhm. I mean,
Oh, yeah, it's just, yeah.
I don't fully know how to make this work, but I went to one of the social action meetings after all the bagel.
Right.
I forget, last spring or something like that too. And like, I mean, I knew there was a lot of energy in the room, don't get me wrong. Like, I knew there was gonna be all sorts of energy in the room, and it still like blows you away. It's like, can you like walk into a social action meeting?
Right.
Like just, not just energy, but activity and actual plans going on. Like more happens in one of those meetings than like anywhere else I've ever seen. It's
Wow.
kind of breathtaking at times. I think there's probably, there should be some ways to kind of get either kids via school, via youth group, whichever kind of avenue you choose. I think something to kind of tie in with that could actually be good too, especially if you can get the parents involved, even if the parents of the school age kids don't have a ton of time to do that. Even kind of seeing it from the edges is
Yes.
the kind of thing that makes you come back the next time too.
Yes.
Um,
of social action.
Yeah, oh, sorry, because
Okay.
Francie and I
That's
were
not
talking
true.
about that is we all know people who don't really live their faith. They
Mhm.
claim to be this, they claim to be that, and then they live differently, right? And I think what you're saying is teaching the
Mhm.
kids how to live Jewishly,
Right.
right? And bring
Uh-huh.
the.
I think you'll
aspects of-
definitely draw on some of them, I think that is the appeal. In a lot of ways.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
There's a Jewish students group in RIT,
Mhm.
and Monica had invited that young man to the Seder last
Oh,
year.
yes,
And
yes.
maybe we could get some of those kids to come here on Friday night.
We could certainly invite them.
Shuttle maybe or something,
There's ways, there's definitely ways to like,
Yeah.
to do it if you try.
because I think his mother and father were rabbis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if RIT has Hillel, you guys.
RT has a little,
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's not gigantic.
Okay.
It's still, Susan Rizzo,
Yes.
was in charge of it for a little while. It's
Yeah.
still there, it's quiet, as
Right.
things go.
I would say Jane Beck
Mhm.
was, sort of as part of social action, trying to start a group for like teens and youngers called Makers Not Takers.
Oh.
Which was somehow gonna involve, crafting and social action, like making things for people
Okay.
and teaching kids how to do some sort of craft
Mhm.
and, you know, the social action stuff. So I don't quite know where that stands at the moment.
I can judge it.
Well,
And as far as the college age kids, the 20s and 30s group is making another attempt.
Yes,
Yes.
I.
So how is that going?
We met to plan stuff out. We've got a mocktails and game night coming
Mhm.
up. I'll put the flyer out yet.
Here at Temple or somewhere else?
We're meeting at someone's house.
Ah, okay, well, that's fine.
So one thing, I was talking to the rabbi about this, so one thing we can possibly help out, for both the youth groups as well as like the 20s and 30s group, there's budget for the leaders, it's, so Sinai did appoint, Eliza?
Yeah.
Okay, pronounce her first name right finally. Eliza Late, Candace Late's daughter, is the 20s and 30s coordinator. But there is, I took a look at the last meeting, there's at least a couple of different funds that are supposed to be like youth something funds. To the best of my knowledge, those are not particularly like school oriented funds like that Sinai has. I think youth actually
Oh,
would
it's
mean,
youth activities.
yeah, like that's
Yeah.
teenagers, and I think twenties and thirties would fall under the
I think
Oh,
the
yeah.
general purview.
Oh, definitely. Like
So,
the, what's that old fund,
we had so many of
Right.
them, and they were
that are
talking about,
specifically earmarked
yes,
for.
exactly right, and that's.
One of those founders, it starts with a K. I can't think of the, anyway, it doesn't matter.
so basically, I guess we can kind of put the word out
That was-
somewhat quietly that basically, if there's something that just takes a little bit of funding to get off the ground. Where, you know, that would be kind of an impediment if people just had to go completely out of pocket. The temple has money specifically like designed for this purpose, within reason, like we should still be responsible about it, but I mean, people have. Donated money and fundraised for these specific
Right.
things, so, there's definitely funding out there if there's an idea that just takes, you know. A little bit of funding
That's
to
great.
do it, so.
That was one of the things that was.
And what it also says to them is you really
Yeah.
have our support, not just the words.
Exactly, so there really is like funding to defray costs and
Yeah.
do some stuff at the level that I don't think we're gonna run into trouble.
I'm really like interested. I see it as these are the Jews that would be on the board, you know, in another 20 or 30 years,
Right.
you know. And it seems like, the world has changed so much that, you know, it's an issue, like, how do you even find the young Jewish people in Rochester? How do you find them? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you? Like,
Yeah, we consider, again, like 12 people is a pretty good turnout for one of our events.
right, but there's more than 12
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the, yeah.
Yeah.
We stole the email list from Temple, that's got at least 50 names on it in our age group. There are some other groups, like there's the Young Jewish Professionals group. There is a new group starting up called Miriam and Bagel. That is trying to coordinate between the groups.
And what is that all about?
Miriam's well.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure, I haven't really interacted with them much, but they said they were trying to set up as a hub between the different 20s and 30s groups in Rochester. There was for a period of time Flower City Schmooze, sorry. Although they appear to have run aground as we checked, so we're reaching out to them to see if we can get their email list too.
Oh, good.
Is the Federation in Owen Bound?
You'd have to ask Eliza if she knows about that. I certainly.
Years ago when.
Have you met with Eliza?
Yeah, we met last week.
Oh, so, can
At a coffee shop.
you update us a little bit? Cause I'm curious.
Yeah, so we talked about just sort of some of the things that we'd struggled with, some of the things that had worked well. They now have access, Eliza and Heather now have access to our email list. We're gonna reach out to Flower City Schmooze, like I said, to see if we can get their email list, since they don't seem to be operating anymore. But we'd like to, you know, make use of what they did. I think we have an event coming up in November that we planned on, although we need to finish getting it together.
Great.
And now
Put
that
it on social media?
we have not gotten that far,
Oh,
literally,
okay.
we met like on Wednesday.
Cool.
Um,
I'm really glad about that because I wasn't aware what happened, because I met with Eliza a few weeks ago,
yes,
but she hasn't updated us yet, so.
like I said, it was literally.
Yeah,
just
I think the key thing is to like have a program that communicated
Mhm.
like on our website and then.
Yes, and I think Eliza and Heather are gonna be a huge help, cause they both know how to host events,
Okay.
which, Hannah wasn't bad at, but I am awful. So it was a struggle.
One of my cousins works for a national Jewish organization. She lives in Washington DC. And they set up Shabbat dinners. I don't know what, I don't.
Is it the open table?
Something like, yes, is it, is it, Open Table sounds like a reservation service.
I mean, I think
Is
it's that
it-
too, but
Yeah,
But
but,
there's a something called, I think it's called open table, one table maybe.
yeah, one table, yeah,
Yeah,
no, my cousin does that.
Tablecloth, whatever.
That's her job. And I went, could they help?
yeah, one of
Yes.
the things we talked about is that a lot of the people our age are like by ourselves. Like I
Yeah,
mentioned, like I love when an event has Havdalah because I never get to do it, cause it's just me, it's no fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's why I mentioned the Federation. Years ago, they actually helped with that. In terms of getting the word out and some backing,
yeah,
but it wasn't throughout the city. I mean, when there was SCORE, remember, we belonged
Yeah.
to SCORE.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was all the presidents of all the congregations met monthly, and then we got a youth thing going where they would, as a group, go to temple that Friday night and this one, and then they did regular things, but with some real financial and
Yeah.
otherwise leadership
Mhm.
support from the
So-
Federation, because the Federation was interested in growing a youth involvement beyond, bar
well,
mitzvah.
they have their young leaders program and all.
Yeah, and that's why I mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah, I was mentioning the fact that, so during the most recent budget report, I looked at the fund, so there are at least two different youth funds that are distinct from the education fund. Here, it's always a little hard, the funds have names that are mysterious and cloaked in history, but,
A husband and wife, we
yeah.
owe somebody.
Yeah.
but yeah, especially, I think we have the ability to kind of, take down like just simple financial barriers for participation, to certainly help with that kind of thing.
I'm very grateful to Josh because Josh is really, I think, a VP of youth who really embraces the concept that youth nowadays can be until like 39.
Okay.
And really, it's true, the people,
Definitely true.
because if you kind of think about the next generation of people who still need some support
Mhm.
to kind of like program and do things, like they will not do it on their, like the
Mhm.
40s and 50s are, can arrange programs for themselves.
Mhm.
Mhm.
In a way that I think of the 20s and the 30s, maybe they can, but they certainly can use
Mhm.
our support. And I think commenting on your comment, I keep hearing that Federation used to sponsor this and that, or that there's, these things that are trying to network people from different communities. I think we need to, step one is to build the Temple Sinai's group.
Ah, okay,
That,
Right.
for two reasons. One, in order for different groups of people from different congregations to collaborate, you need a group of the congregation.
yes.
Right.
And two, sorry, I keep reminding myself, my job is to grow Temple Sinai, and I was looking, and then I'm not, obviously, people will go and visit each other, and our job is, in this context, not just to say that there will be Jewish life for people in the 20s and 30s. My job when I wake up in the morning is to make sure that Temple Sinai has a next generation. Right, that's my mandate. When I'm elected to be the CEO of the Federation, I'll think about
Yeah.
the time, which I doubt it'll happen, because I don't think I'm gonna apply to that job ever, but you see, I think that so when you're thinking the Federation was sponsoring, I want that energy to be
Yeah.
here. And it's really important for me that we, Josh,
Right.
all of us who are people who are able to support Temple Sinai in different ways, we really focus on those groups. If they, in the end, the resources that they need are not tremendous. It's almost, it's like, what does it take to organize an event for people, to buy the pizza, to pay for a drink, to go on a hike? It's not, we're not talking about billions here. We're talking about, kind of almost like a micro budget.
Mhm.
That, if we had a little more, maybe they can do an annual retreat, maybe they can do things, they can volunteer, they can do, so that's kind of how I think about it. I want us in the next 2 to 3, 4 years to help Shoshana and Heather and Eliza and all those wonderful people build a Temple Sinai's 20s and 30s group. When that is strong, when that group is strong and consistent, they will, of course, collaborate with other ones, and they will, but I want us to understand that the model should be not, let's do a Federation thing let's do a Temple Sinai group.
Well, you're
And then-
I think it's like a grassroots, we're. If every synagogue did that, then we would. Have a vibrant Jewish community in 20 years.
Yes, and other synagogues are doing that, Miriam as well in the end sits in TBK, okay, let's be clear about that. So that's their initiative, and of course, TBK, as they do, they will always present their initiative as a all encompassing,
Yeah.
like, okay, TBK, we get that, and Peter is my friend. and he's doing the right thing. He's
Right.
building, he found a way, right? Beth El, I think, have also Chabad for sure.
Chabad's the genius. They've been doing it.
Chabad are doing great work. I don't, I just try to learn the good. I like how they function. I don't like their ideology, okay?
Yeah,
And like Eliza told me, many of them, who go there in spite of the ideology.
Right.
So if Chabad is doing something well, let us emulate it, right? So that's kind of like the direction that I want.
yeah.
Um,
We
thank you for
talked
that.
about, it's
Yeah.
like public, we talked, oh gosh, you know how everything all is new again. I mean, we did talk about this stuff like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you find the people? That's so hard.
I think we've got, there's one, every crisis is an opportunity. Both post-pandemic as well as kind of just, I don't know, trends in broader society. People are going out and doing less by and large, not individuals, but just collectively. If you were saying this to Frank, who does everything, but people are going out less by all the measures that are out there. But the thing is that it's not like all of these events are less enjoyable than they used to be. People actually like them, a lot more. But this is true for 20s and 30s, for kids, for 40s, 50s, and 60s,
My kids,
for everybody.
both of them work from home.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so I think we've definitely got an opportunity if we have something for people to do to build community. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly the right thing. In some ways, just having it out there is likely to be, more meaningful than it otherwise would be, just because there's not the same level of competition for people's enjoyment in certain ways.
I wonder,
in a social way.
I'll try to get more information from my cousin because they have a way,
Mhm.
some way of finding people and drawing them in to a Shabbat dinner. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's all I know about it.
Yeah, so I think maybe one of the ways we can look at it would be good if we get programs and activities and things like that are good and work right and are everyone at the end is like, wow, that was successful. But in the same sense, this came up last night. We were saying that last night there was a Midler's house party that they aimed at, in theory, 40s, 50s, and 60s. And we were discussing how often could you do this? And everyone's, the default is the thing, we can do this maybe once a year, a couple times. And someone's like, there's 40 people here, we could do it once a week. And your first thought is that, we could never, you could do it once a week. Like if you try to think of the barriers to doing it, there really aren't any obvious at some point, numbers will not be quite the same every single week, but the barriers are a lot less for 20s and 30s, for youth group, for other things like that too. If we're willing to kind of be adventurous about taking flyers on things, I don't think it'll be a financial strain. These things tend not to cost, all that much. We have the budget to do it.
Really, I agree with you. I think that, so between once a year and every week, there's a whole spectrum, right? So, but it's once a month or once, or as people want, because in the end, if, I think we said, I think there were almost 50 people there yesterday. It was a very full house. Like if everybody hosted in their house once a week, well, it's so it doesn't have to be once a week, but whenever, and it's like, people will, they'll bring their little thing from Wegmans or they're donate it doesn't have to be expensive, in other words, right? There are some expenses if you're trying to coordinate but it's not, people want to be together. And I think that people in their 20s and 30s, given the opportunity and consistency, if they knew once a month, this is happening, this is the web, this is my email group or my WhatsApp group, or my whatever messenger group, they will come.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, if there was a bit of an element of, we're gonna throw a little bit of the pasta at the wall and see what's like, if we're willing to be adventurous and know that occasional things might not work as well as other, there's a lot of good we had for the ones that do. You don't get any successes from the events or the things that you don't do at that point.
Well, that was what was so
exciting and popular with the Havaras, which we started years ago, those people became really good friends.
Oh, yeah.
Because so many of them didn't have family in town and so on, and it was the same concept. Our group met once a month, like we said, in each other's homes, or we did an outing somewhere. And I think it's a similar kind of a thing, similarly aged folks, right? And
Oh, so-
they had folks with kids and they had folks who were retired.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful that way, and we're still friends, 40 years later.
I've got one, I don't think it's a crazy idea, it's based on other things we've done too. So PJ Library a few years ago set up these, like basically PJ Library dinner groups. So this was all basically people with kids of comparable ages.
Yeah.
Like not, it wasn't exact, but it was, comparable ages. So they'd give funding basically to defray costs for a dinner, and groups of, I don't know, about 6 families would get together. We're still friends with all the people from our PJ Library group, and some of them even joined Temple Sinai, in part on our recommendation, the Seligmans. We can claim partial credit for.
We'll give you 10% of their due.
Yeah. But I wonder though, like, we could try that based on the generational splits if you want, but there's nothing that says that you have to eat dinner with only people of your own age.
Well, there's a natural gravitation,
But if we had if we tried cross-generational dinner, I'm not saying it's for everybody. But it does have the advantage, at the risk of caricaturing the situation. This is a caricature only. I think we've got that, the older you get, the better you are at cooking things. The younger you are, the more that you probably appreciate the free meal aspect of things. In the middle, I feel like I can cook a little bit, but mostly I just want the conversation, like kind of up and down.
Right.
It's not hard. Like it doesn't take much to get people to. If you can get a little bit of buy-in and some people to try it out, the worst that happens is that you have dinner with some nice people. Like it's not a high stakes.
I think that yesterday's experiment showed what a great thirst there is for simple social gathering.
Yeah, for sure.
Just as someone opens their house, everybody comes, brings something. It was a really, really simple social activity of like bingo, to get to know each other.
Right. Yeah, that's
And it was kind of like so incredibly simple, just people getting together. And I think that so the vision is, to have all the age groups. And I think, we already have some groups that are based upon interest and not age. For example, social action or the Israel Committee, so you could either, so you think about like like weaving, like some of our groups can be more like age affiliated, and some of them can be,
interest groups.
like someone mentioned a cultural club. Like, once a month you go to a play or a concert
I
or.
think that might have been Heather.
It was Heather, so there's the sky's the limit, but every idea needs to have someone who said, I wanna, so some of the groups who were able to, in like more like an institutional place, like, as the rabbi, as the board, will be able to support. So this year, we're helping this group launch, or for the next couple of years, and then other groups, if people suggest it and they organize it, they can just do it.
Yeah.
We're not gonna tell them not to.
Right.
Oh, do you want me to ask my cousin to send you some information?
Yeah, the more ideas, the better.
Yeah, because they do this kind of throwing out an invitation, that's what I understand, and then people show up and it's for a Shabbat dinner.
Right. My own personal belief, and this may not be quite as universal, this might just be me, is that, if an event includes food, it always brings people together.
Yeah.
But I think this is kind of, but I think I believe in this more than most, even if everyone believes it, I believe it's more than most.
You're gonna sell it.
I really am, like, I'm a fundamentalist at this point.
Sarah Horowitz says they hate us, let's eat.
Yeah, exactly, like, it totally works.
No, if you want people to show up to a meeting at work, tell them that there's sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh, the one thing we should definitely, sorry, did anyone else go to the pickle making workshop a few years ago? We had the people from the Gefilteria in New York City come and do a pickle making workshop.
Here?
Yeah,
Oh.
like in the, that was like,
I wanted to come, but we weren't in town.
that was the highlight of at least several, before Rabbi Zohar came, that was the highlight of the past decade before you came.
I heard about that pickle activity from everybody. I'll tell you, give me good examples for a good activity that everybody was telling me about the pickle activity. So yeah, but what else happened? The pickle activity.
What about I don't know, a Hamish Jewish cooking night, and we had,
I think there's anything,
workshops on
anything involving
Google.
cooking.
and brisket and
Right.
matzo balls and
Yeah, I think when it comes to cooking classes, especially the advantage of cooking classes too, some people are possibly, fine dining chefs, but a lot of us, don't really have that aspiration.
Yeah.
But we're all looking for food that we can make. Like there's no shortage. Everyone needs to eat. Like that kind of thing. I think it basically never fails.
Everyone eats meat except for my neighbor in the old village who once told me that he doesn't have to eat because he went to a class that teaches how to feed from the sunshine. And he said, "Oh, it's not like I can send you to someone in Tel Aviv. He'll teach you too." And no, I just go outside and there's a very simple technique. Anyone can do it.
Is your neighbor a ficus plant?
No, he was like an 83-year-old guy, very healthy, a TM practitioner. And then one day I went to visit him at his house because I was a volunteer firefighter and so was he. So I went to his house and I knocked on the door and lo and behold, I see him and his wife sitting and having lunch. It was a very simple lunch, like just rice and lentils. But I said, "Hey, Yona," his name was Yona. Hey, I just caught you eating. You just told me that you don't eat because you can feed from the sunshine. Why are you eating? I see that you're eating." And he said, "Yeah, I was doing that thing and I was getting really skinny and my wife's family, they're all like Holocaust survivors. So it was giving them like PTSD to see me so skinny, so I eat for them." So this guy kind of almost defeats your thesis that everybody has to eat. But I would say that most people are not like my old neighbor Diona.
Yeah.
They're more like you and I.
When we were younger couples, for several years, we had game night once a year. Yeah, Scrabble on this table, this one.
Game night never gets old, as far as I can tell.
Yes, especially charades and Pictionary and things like that, which was our era.
Yeah, and it would.
But it was multi-generational.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it could be
multi-generational,
multi-generational.
and different games, and of course, it was food.
If it makes everyone, this might make everyone feel better. A bunch of the schools have been getting rid of the ability to have cell phones in school during the daytime.
Right.
Like you can bring it, but it has to stay in the locker, stay off the whole day. So at least all of the anecdotal reports say that, all the people are like, what are the kids gonna do at lunch without their phones? They play card games, like all lunch long, because of course they do.
Ritual. Yeah, definitely.
You want to talk about, can you already talk about the school, like not the 20s and 30s? Do you talk about like our challenges there?
We talked about it briefly. We said, so basically K through 3, the numbers are smaller. 4 through 7, the numbers pick up. I think there's definitely, I think the big question is, so I'm not in charge of curriculum or things like that, but kind of tying the school in with a broader, I think the more the school is tied in with a broader Sinai effort, the more it kind of has meaning both to the kids and the parents, and both count for the long haul. 4 through 7 at the moment is where we're going to kind of get more lifelong Sinai involvement.
Yeah, I'm thinking a few things. One thought is why is it so in other words, when we think about young children, like we have a school, which is like not under you, right?
Right.
And it's a separate world, and then there's whatever is not school, and I'm kind of wondering how clever is that? I don't really know that I know that. I'm just thinking maybe there should be more like integrated work to kind of like work together. That's one thought that I have, and then the other thought that I'm seeing is that, like you said, Susan, and she's going to show to the board. I think next time 10 years ago, there were almost 200 kids at the Hebrew school. There was 189, and now there's like 110. And in the younger grades, we're seeing that they're becoming very small grades. And I don't think that the issue is that there's not enough young families in Rochester. I think that Temple Sinai isn't doing enough outreach. And isn't playing the game well enough. Because also we have competition that raise a lot of money in their temple. $2 million as far as I know.
What's?
TBK, there's some group of parents in TBK who went and talked to the deeper pockets of that congregation, and they raised $1 million for the school. And then the Levine, whatever, which is also, were also their members, give them another $1 million. So
Wow.
when I'm thinking about Susan and her teachers and everything that we want to do with youth, and they have a rabbi who's an educator, in other words, they're really investing in that, like their second clergy as an educator. They're really investing in it in more than one way, and it's going to be hard for us to compete unless we get our act together somehow. And when I say get our act together, I mean funds.
Yeah.
I think there should be a whole group of people in this temple who are thinking how to get funds for the young generation, for school, for the and marketing, because we have actually a very good school, but the story isn't told enough. And being brave and asking, is our program actually attractive enough? Are we doing something that? And I think one thing that for me is becoming clear is that we're gonna, in order to be competitive, we're gonna have to find a way to offer our school free. Because in other places it's free, and I think that, if you're a new family in town and you see this one is free, this one costs, where are you gonna go? Right, so I think that we have to be clever about that, understand that we don't live in a vacuum. I'm just sharing my initial thoughts, it's nothing, I don't have any
Absolutely right. I was shocked to find out how few students were.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it was, I remember joking that I think we had 250 families and 400 kids in the school. And it was, Temple Sinai is a very fertile congregation. But it was, population trends shift.
Not even so much population. I'm 3 for 3 in terms of intermarried, but at least 2 are in synagogues, but my older son, like you were saying, started his 4th grade. Right, and so now he's got to take an extra year to have a bar mitzvah, and I'm thinking, how are you thinking about it? I mean, when they lived in New York, they went more regularly, but it's tough. We had as many as 550 kids in the school. And Robin Schifrin and I had to fight with the Federation for us to get funds. They're giving funds to Hillel and they gave funds to the JCC. And we're going, hey, they've got more kids here than Bethel.
Yeah, that's what they did. Federation did.
And where is our money? And that was, she would work very hard to get that money from the Federation, right?
Yeah, oh God, it was a big deal because it was the school was at Bethel and it was supposed to be a community school, but we had as many kids in our school.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I was thinking, when my daughter turned 5, we hadn't been affiliated. And then it was like, without question, Sarah had to go to religious school.
Well, different
And then but that I don't think that's there anymore. And so I wonder if we need to work on the why. What would your children and family get out of coming to religious school and investing time and effort?
I can't speak to TBK on this one. I just don't know enough about their internal culture. More Layla's grade than, nope, take it back. Layla and Charlie's grade both. Chev and I were the only non-intermarried couple amongst our friend group. And I will say, we've talked with the parents, years after years after years.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Marriage is interreligious.
Sorry, both of us are Jewish. Both of us were raised Jewish.
Were you ever ostracized for being both Jewish?
Not quite. But we are a minority. We're a minority, but we can pass. But I will say that of all the issues that have come up, Sinai,
I don't wanna claim it's perfect, nowhere's perfect. But it's really historically not a problem at Sinai, like we do a really good job of making. Not just the Jewish parent feel welcome, but making the whole family. Feel welcome.
Remember, it was
Yeah.
always the family, which was not the case.
And I mean,
In other
I tell the story,
Still not the case in other congregations?
I don't know about Bethel, actually.
I tell,
But ours was always, didn't matter
Yeah,
what
that's
the
why
makeup was. You
What
you were the member of the
Right.
family.
That was the push for why this congregation came to be, wasn't it?
I'm not sure that was the push, but.
I thought it was.
One day we're gonna have to
Yeah,
find
but-
out what was the push.
Right.
Yeah.
So you keep hearing different
There are many
stories.
different stories.
but yeah, I can tell a story, but like I tell it like a joke. It's actually completely serious. I'm not actually like exaggerating here. I was on the nominating committee with Marilyn Fenster, who
Yes.
is one of the sources of institutional knowledge for the congregation.
Yes.
And this was back several years ago, not that long ago, but several years ago when only the Jewish family member was allowed on the board.
Mhm.
And we had at least 2 or 3 conversations where we were like, that someone from that family would be great. And we'd look at each other and be like, which one's Jewish?
Yeah.
And we didn't really know.
No,
Like we
No.
most of the time we suspected who was Jewish, maybe both, maybe one, maybe the other, but we weren't really
Isn't that
sure.
fabulous?
And like this happened not just like one random, this was happening to us repeatedly because we know the whole family and the whole family is part of the congregation. And the one thing you don't ask in a temple is, are you Jewish? So we definitely have that. I don't know how I don't understand the full way to kind of emphasize that it's the family and the values that come first rather than the religion you're born with or things like that. But that welcoming spirit really does define the culture.
Surely we're very inclusive. I wonder if one of the things that happened is back in the day, we were the only ones. It's very possible that others have become that as well, because otherwise they'd have no one.
Yes.
And maybe like we need to, maybe a certain draw that used to be unique to us is in other places as well. I'm almost sure that at TBK, it's kind of the same nowadays.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just from knowing their clear, in other words, if they used to be stricter, they're probably not.
Yeah.
And they may have a few other things going for them, so we need to kind of like maybe rethink and reinvent ourselves or retell the story in a way that, and I think that what we're doing here is, I think the school is great. I think that the program is pretty good. There could always be, improvements and additions, but I don't think that the problem is that we need to like, that we're doing something bad. I think
No,
that we need,
absolutely.
maybe we need like a better focus and a better way to tell the story.
Yeah.
Possibly we can also just make some changes.
We
but-
could.
Like, what do you like, what would you like to be sure, what's the best kept secret
Yeah.
that we should tell other people?
But we do have if we wanted to do a survey of parents, the good thing is that in some sense we can be kind of relentlessly optimistic with the survey. I think there's gotta be things that people want, that people would like to see. If you ask people for the negative things, you'll get an earful no matter what, but there's something to be said for a survey where prime people just tell you what they wanna see, what they like this to be.
Right.
It's in some sense simple psychology, but make people feel good about it and let them.
Yeah, it's very powerful to say
Yeah.
the positive out loud. It's a powerful thing.
I think the idea of making your schools free is a very good idea because you would get more people in. But the other problem is you have to raise some money for that. And how about an auction or bingo or something like that? They have sites right on the internet that will tell you exactly how to set up an auction, and you could do very well with that.
Well, there's all this, we talked about these things years ago, right? They used, I think Bethel used to auction off a car, something like that.
Where did they get a car?
What?
Where did they get a car to auction off?
Oh, back then,
Donation.
that generation of Jews owned the dealerships and this and that.
Right.
Hadassah used to have a guy who owned a dealership and they auction off a car every year.
I mean, you're talking to
Most people are
Monica.
gone.
Does anyone know Bob Johnson?
I want to tell you something about my friend Monica. I think Monica has raised hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not million, of dollars for the Jewish community.
Well,
And for-
Hadassah and Temple Sign.
And Temple, Hadassah and Temple Sign, and she knows how it's done, and it's morphed over the years.
But it's changed. right?
It's changed, but I think a
What
lot.
Rabbi said is absolutely right. We have always sort of coasted on our glory, so to speak, and not advertised ourselves, because what the founders did say, because Les's partner was a founder, Kirk Marie Marx, is that they wanted to get away from the big temple and the pull for money, you know, this is what we want you to give, that kind of a thing. And this is who we are, and look at glorious us, and they deliberately built a small synagogue over here. 200 was their limit. There was a big system back then when, oh my gosh, we were going over 200, and they said, no, right? And
Well,
and we just didn't advertise ourselves. And now we have you, and suddenly people are coming in, and it's joyful, and they're dancing.
Well, we
and
had
all
to
of the
expand over the
classes.
years, and then,
Yes.
so it's morphed. And
And I think we have to let people know how terrific we are and what we offer,
Yeah.
and what a friendly,
So-
I mean, I for one can tell you how friendly we
Yeah,
are, right?
I want to say something about, you just said something that I think for me is key to the atmosphere here at Temple Sinai. You just said that they wanted to get away from the big temple with, what did you say about money?
Well, and folks were, this is what we think you should give to us and that. kind of
Right,
thing.
the big demand for money. One of the things that.
Charlie, why don't you bring a few bagels to your friend?
Yeah, actually, Charlie, can you tell Charlie to get a bagel too?
You can bring.
All right.
Sorry. One of the things that happens when you get the big donors, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because the money comes with strings. And one of the things that has contributed to the atmosphere here at Sinai is that we are controlled by a small inner group of rich people. And that we don't have names on everything.
Yeah.
And that comes right from the founders, and when you go for the big money, I just talked to somebody who's on the board of Federation, or well, not on the board, works at Federation, and another person in the Jewish community, I don't wanna, but when you get these big money people, don't give you tens of thousands of dollars without expecting that you're gonna do it the way they want it.
I'd like to differ. I've had an
Yeah.
experience with a very wealthy person who gave me a lot of money.
In Israel or here?
Well, she is in New Jersey, but she gave me money and she continues to support the organization that I founded in Israel.
Mhm.
And she trusted me on the vision and she gave me money and she never asked me even for a report,
Yeah.
ever.
But
She
that's
just,
rare,
she
isn't
just,
it?
I'm telling you, first of all, there are people who just
You
trust.
have to find that.
So it's not, so the fear of the big money, there's ways, and I think that I feel very grateful every day that I'm the kind of synagogue that doesn't have names on the wall, and that this is the culture.
Right.
I take that any day for the other opposite of the spectrum. Having said that, I think the Temple Sinai maybe can go a little bit on the spectrum here,
Yes.
because you also don't have to be afraid
To ask.
for what you need, just like there was a pastor here who needs a church. And he knows the sum that he needs, and he's gonna ask it, and I think he's gonna get it, and I think also we might be able to help him. Because he knows what he needs and he's asking for it, so when there's a clear ask. So when we're asking, so I don't want to be big for the sake of being big, it's not an interest of mine. I am interested on growing if we have what's to offer, and if there are needs outside there for people who identify as Jewish. And they have different needs that aren't answered, whether we can answer it in a good way. I want to be able to support them and to do that because that's our mission. And if that ends up being that of us growing, that's good, but it's not for the sake of growing. I want,
Yeah.
I sometimes think of the need to be financially sustainable and thriving, because if you're all the time is like you're in deficit and you don't know how to pay the bills, the conversation always becomes about that.
Mhm.
Other than let's go and do great things, and I kind of wanna get us past that.
Yeah.
So that
Oh,
we can
good.
actually be focused, right? So it's not growth for the sake of growth or because of a competition that we need to be, it's, not. You know, and I'm not looking to grow in the way that I wanna compete in the same, seventh real, wealthy families in Brighton necessarily. I think that we have a lot of space for growth in other parts of town, symbolically speaking.
Mhm.
And do things that, not exactly in the way that's done in other synagogues. That there's a lot of potential, and that's kind of like where I'm curious.
Oh, I hope so,
You know?
I hope so,
Um,
that's great.
Oh,
Because
I guess,
if we are secure, people will come to a place where there's security, right?
Mhm.
And you need that, and folks flee pretty quickly to something that they perceive as not being
to
successful, so you're absolutely right.
to close on, I guess, a positive note,
Yes.
this is only tangentially related, but hopefully it is. One thing that struck me, so we've marched in the Pride Parade, the past several, you've been to the past several Pride
Mhm.
Parades. There's always this question, when you're marching as a temple, as an identifiable Jewish group at the Pride Parade, what will the reception be? The reception from people just lining the street corner, and I mean, it's something of, people of the same ideological bent for the most part, admittedly. But the reception for the Temple Sinai marchers the past several years has been overwhelmingly positive each and every year. Random people on the street like cheer for us as we go by, which is nice. There's a lot of latent goodwill because of all that Sinai's done over the years. Like, there's lots of corners of Rochester where people at least vaguely know Temple Sinai and the good works that have been done in all sorts of different ways. You can't talk to a single charitable organization around town who doesn't know what Temple Sinai
Yes.
is. Like, there's a lot of built up goodwill that we have. We've sown this around town. So there should be ways to reap it, if I understand my limitations.
Now you have to get your name out there more.
Exactly
I
right.
didn't even think.
What do you
about
mean
Temple
you?
Sinai.
You can start saying we soon. Start getting used to saying we.
Okay.
You're
Sorry.
like the one that who lives here. So when are you gonna start saying we?
Yeah.
Maybe in January, when you're officially.
Being involved with RIT's OSHER, I saw brochures about the seminar that was here. And I've, always had being Jewish on my mind. And I said, well, let me go to that seminar. And I think that advertising out there
Yeah.
brought people here. And we might have even got another.
Which seminar are you referring to?
The one we had in January where they, the fellow that was a
Oh,
rabbi
it
here.
was December, Josh Garrett, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
okay, yeah. Oh, I guess it was
So,
December.
by the way, that group did something phenomenal, which I still don't know how to do. I mean, we're working on it, but that group,
You mean the
the
adult?
people who brought, Garaway, did a phenomenal job in putting the word out there.
Yeah.
Outside of our immediate circle, I have to say that I'm still struggling to find out. Obviously, social media helps, but we need more channels like that, just bringing the word out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
Exactly.
yeah,
yeah.
and I think that we'll find them. It's just,
Yeah.
we're just doing too many
Well,
great things,
I think you're-
but not
So
to,
you got me?
yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
They wanna get bagels? Let them.
I think so, yeah.
Alright, it's noon, so, we should all go home. To our respective abodes.
Oh, thank you all for coming out. I'll be here every Sunday.
Everyone shower,
Pretty
bright
much.
light in the congregation.
I think also, by the way, even this tradition of ask the board,
Yeah.
it still hasn't reached the level of our systems awareness. That, like, get a topic, advertise it in snippets in advance, we're still not there.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure that if we'll do it consistently, we're gonna get more people, because it's if you have a topic that people really care for. And the authority from the board to speak about it. If we, so I encourage, there's a couple board members here, and I encourage you to kind of like. Maybe as one board conversation is to have those dates,
Mhm.
talk to the president, make sure that we know which topics are the important ones.
Mhm.
Then advertise it, weeks, or 2 weeks in advance, a week in advance, and you'll see what we have.
For sure. And the other thing we used to do, because not everybody looks at snippets, goes to the website. We had a community kind of bulletin boards, so when you walk by, you saw it in writing. Now, I mean, I'm a paper person, but. so
Yeah, but
many
we're
of us
dying
are
breed,
still
literally.
paper people, right?
Mhm.
Said that, adult education group, they plastered the community with posters
I
and
think
flyers.
something that Mary mentioned that I think would be a good idea, that it was kind of forgotten because we're so busy. On both entrances to the congregation, to purchase screens that have
Oh, yeah, those, yeah,
upcoming events.
right.
If anybody, by the way, if anybody wants to buy those 2 screens,
Well,
that.
what about Friends of Sinai?
Oh.
That's a little
Yeah,
expensive.
Let me introduce you to Monica Katz.
That's
They have to be an extra. Yes. And you can just update it every time.
Oh,
Okay, I got something.
you know, and I don't have this computer paper very well.
Yeah, I know, they're-
Computer, I'm not a lawyer, but even I can organize. And my mother was an organizer. And that is such a.
watching Zoom.
And because I couldn't work in the profession that I wanted to work, I can at least, well, I wanted to be a doctor.
It's here. Yeah, I ended up.
Graduation merit ceremony.
Yeah.
But I had a full scholarship at Harvard.
Hi.
And freshman year, he realizes, oh my God, I can't do math, I can't do science. He goes to his dean and he says, if I lose the scholarship, I can't go to college. And the dean said, why don't you try law? I'm looking at what you took. And this is more than.
Wow.
And this Friday, I can get back. And it gives me so much pleasure that I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you know, and we need to message young people as I am doing the.
And Amy again?
Maybe.
Good for
Yeah, no, we're
you.
continuing that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, mentoring young people,
Yeah.
because I can't shoulder what I used to do.
And you know, and he would be a great speaker. You know, Frank? I mean, because I remember when you started it, you and Ron had me come and speak as to why I converted and what I thought.
No, no, Team Amy is leadership.
Oh, leadership, it was the other group, never mind. No, I think you had me speak about different roles of Temple Sinai.
Oh,
And I thought,
yeah.
That's a difference, never mind.
Yeah, you know, if the word I gave a history is like, was like a second of Sinai, and I don't know. That's why I wanted to have lunch with you before.
Oh, yeah.
But before I do it again,
Yes.
we're gonna have another hearing, before I do it.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
The August left because they didn't like two things, they didn't like how their wives were treated, and they didn't like how they.
That may have been aspect. I don't know. TBK, yes, yeah, that, there were probably many things. Yes, yes. And John Hart will tell you that too.
Yeah.
I mean, they were absolutely shocked, you know, when people started with.
Oh, yeah, because they were classical reform.
Yeah. They actually, when they started here, they would meet Saturday mornings, right?
And Sun, yeah. Oh, no, that's
Sunday.
the whole, with, they were shifted for,
Yes,
in general.
many reasons, but the number one that everybody says was. We don't want them to tell us how much we should give and how it should be spent.
Yeah.
That was absolutely any other.
Oh, okay.
You want us?
The Hearts joined was came here.
Right.
From the Rothschilds.
Right.
Whatever. I wouldn't say rich, comfortable in the conference, but a modest.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting.
And they had.
Talked about it, but
Yes.
you didn't,
Yeah.
you know, I know there
were the Neisners and the
Yeah.
Horwitzes, there were
And
people.
they made it happen financially.
I know. Did you?
Andy Nice.
Yeah, they were fine.
You're really great
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they made it happen because they could get the banks to, be
Yeah.
generous with whatever and, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, so
and they
you need all
donated big
aspects,
money,
yes,
and but they
yes.
didn't, they didn't put plaster their names.
No, but you know what, when we finally put the blacks up,
Where they
they
live.
were very grateful.
Oh,
Very
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
It's nice to be
all the
recognized,
training,
yeah.
I mean, I always took advantage of the training.
Mhm.
You got all that.
Movement and all the training in later years said, if you don't show appreciation, and it doesn't have to be glitzy
Yeah.
and name, like Alessandro Jones Osborne.
Right.
Not that, but guess where the August gave big money and their name is plastered across one whole wall
Where?
at what used to be Rochester General?
Oh,
And was it Rochester General? No, the one in Greece.
oh,
Hartford. I went to visit my brother there, he had an enemy attack in across there, Bert and Charles August and their wives, and they gave to the women's and children's. And I'm going, wait a minute.
what's it, I just feel, I gotta be at my friends at one for the Bills game.
Oh, there's a game today.
Yeah.
Wow.
See you guys.
I'm gonna look more into that, watch it,
But you know, Frank.
Each person could.
Oh, yeah, and that's what we did for the Hanukkah happening last year, we did $3,000.
Well, we had the galas, Frank, the last gala that I organized.
They were
We
so
made
fun.
$40,000
Yeah.
in silent
We used to do that at
auction.
the University Club, I
Yeah.
remember, and
Yeah.
we'd have a gala for the holidays. and
Right.
raise a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, it's like, I explained to the last gala that I remember was an ungala gala. It was the Great Mishpacha, remember?
Yes,
And they had, very modest, tickets, sales, ticket price. And, when I heard about it, I said, didn't they get the memo that they're supposed to raise money with this? And so it's the ethic of the people who ran it didn't like sort of the elite quality of asking people for big money and.
But this year when we said, well, one of the committee of the Hanukkah happening, we had the gift baskets. And somebody said, well, why not a silent auction? It was Lisa Altman.
Oh.
And I said, after COVID, are merchants really gonna give and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. You should have seen the stuff that came
Yeah,
out.
I did see it,
Yes.
I did see it.
And I thought, and we said, okay, Lisa, let's give it a try, right? And you asked the village and the village came out.
Yeah,
right?
I gotta go.
All right.
Do bingo, something like
Well,
that.
actually, one of the son of one of the founders,
Uh-huh.
they were members here and he was an up and rising star. And we thought for sure he's gonna be president someday. And he and his wife did lots of fundraising and wonderful things. And then for some reason, she got interested with Rabbi Kalimnik in a modern Orthodox on Monroe Avenue. You've seen the
Uh-huh, yeah.
congregation. And then they started to go there because they really liked the rabbi, and she started kosher, and they just pulled away from Sinai.
Oh,
And their kids then went to Hillel School instead of Brighton.
oh.
And he started bingo, or they had bingo, and he raised bingo
You could
to
raise
a
a-
different
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
And because he came from this business family, right, they
Mhm.
read Midas Miffler, whatever it was
Mhm.
before that. So what he did was find this old factory or warehouse somewhere in the city, not far from university, going north, right?
Mhm.
And they buy the building, and now they're renting out different rooms to different churches for their regular bingo nights. So this one had Monday afternoon, this one had Tuesday evening. Hi, Ryan, good to see you. And they're making money off of the rentals, and then bingo had every Sunday night.
Sunday,
If
yeah.
you sent your kid to Hillel, you had to once a month help out with bingo or give a contribution. So our younger son, because I needed an all-day kindergarten, I'm working for him, right? We sent him to Hillel in first grade, and then we transferred him to Brighton. And Les just hated going and helping in bingo because people are really frantic, you know?
Yeah, I'm not
That's something-
crazy tough thing, but I think to
No,
raise money.
Get something wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, smoking was allowed back then. He
Yeah.
offers clothes in the garage because he just, they made it a whole lot. And some smaller congregations around did bingo. Most of their budget came from the proceeds of. So I say, let me find out about bingo. I'm the fundraising chair for Temple Side.
Yeah.
So I go to John August and I say, tell me about bingo. Tells me how it's run. He says, well, I can find a night for you. I bring it to the board. Rabbi Katz said, I cannot approve this because the people who can least afford to lose money playing bingo, you're trying to gain a profit from that. And the board said, no, and I can't argue that, right?
Well.
And I said,
yeah.
but
But I
Beth
think
Shringham did it.
But if they're gonna gamble, they're gonna gamble.
Well,
But isn't bingo, you can't, you know?
That's the point. I tried to, but.
I had an uncle like that. I had to lend him $50 every week so he could buy groceries and then get his paycheck and pay me back and then squander it again. Yes.
Yeah, no, but I put him in, and because he put in the same.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we did a fruit sale for them, we ordered crates of oranges and grapefruits and jams. We had to open the windows and move, because this was content. And we wanted to leave the cold, and it would come up from Florida, Red Road. Paid a few thousand, then we had the kids, because the school was so big, Santa Rita, Passover. I mean, all of these fundraisers. My goodness. Yeah.
You know, if you need any with something, I'd be glad to be on your.
Yeah, I should have had you for a month and a half.
Okay.
All right, let's see you next week. How nice it suddenly got to be. Beautiful out. All right. I hope you get to go home soon and relax a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and watch the football again.
I have to ask you, are you a Bills fan?
Well, I'm a Dallas fan, but I root for the Bills because they're the home team. So, you know.
My younger son is, and